So Pranam has almost a seasoned consultant with overall 19 years of experience, and he carries a lot of experience in terms of CMMI implementation, process improvement initiatives, okay, client engagements, SAPG initiatives, benchmarking exercise, and so on. He holds good number of credentials in the process domain. So he's holding certified CMMI associate. He's a Six Sigma black belt. He's a Scrum Master, and he is lead auditor for 9001, and he's a certified happiness coach. Right. So he participated in CMMI engagements, like high maturity models. And then he was part of like 42K implementation, 9001, 27001, SOC, GDPR. Okay. So that is how he has greater experience. And he also done a lot of consulting assessments for various customers across the geographies, and he supported sustainability related programs like CDP, carbon disclosure programs, and BRSR reports, which generally the annual reports of an organization talks about how much carbon net zero activities initiated, what are those metrics, measurement systems. He has developed a lot of things in terms of setting up those procedures, policies, frameworks, and also guiding people in terms of establishing the measurement mechanisms, and collecting the data, guiding them to ensure that the set organizational targets are met. So that is how overall, like 19 years, Pranam has done a lot of initiatives in terms of certifications and ESG related activities. So forum is yours, Pranam. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Hari. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah. So first of all, I have this mix of emotions. One is happy because I am presenting something in front of all quality gurus like Prakash Rao sir, Gandhi sir, Malika ma'am, and all. Second is anxiety because presenting in front of your gurus, right? So thanks, Hari. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Are you able to see the mind map? Can you confirm?
Yes.
Okay. So sure. Yeah, some disclaimers before I start my session, team. One is I am giving this experience or sharing this experience based on my experience. I'm not using any company related information or data. None of the assets will be exposed. One. Second, yeah, this is my independent opinion and experience, as I said. And I'm just a one certification old in terms of 42001. So I definitely consider myself as a novice. And I see that there are stalwarts both in quality as well as AI here. So any point of a time, if you feel your response can add value to the discussion and all, please pitch in. If I am going somewhere wrong and all, please, you have the authority to correct me and answer that as well. So, and any questions, if I'm unable to answer, I'll get back to you through Hari. So that is the point. And generally, I get very comfortable with mind maps. So I'll not be showing slides and all. So we'll go section by section, look at what is the expectation from the standard one, and at a high level, what records can be produced or what records can be shown as part of the audit. So that's how we'll go. Any point of a time, if you have any questions, you can let me know. Or at the end of the session also, we'll have some time for discussions. Yeah. So some history about 42001, right? So this is the world's first management system for AI, and this is by ISO. If you remember, right, 2022-23, we started using ChatGPT and all. So slowly we started using it for maybe document generation or any new process. Hello? Yeah, Santosh. So please go on mute if you're not speaking. Yeah, thank you. So this started around 22-23, right? So initially people, including me, right, we started using it left, right, and center. So that's where I think even the governance also came into picture. So people wanted to put in some governance. What is the data? Where the source of the data is? What kind of data is coming for this model, LLMs and all? So that's where I think people from different countries, 50 plus countries, and definitely many experts in AI and all got together. They formed a JTC, a Joint Technical Committee and Subcommittee, and they worked on it for almost 2 years. Right? And then basically on risks, ethical considerations, transparency, sources of any data poisoning and all that, right? So many such things, and that's where this standard came into picture, ISO 42001 in December 2023. So which contains how from the development to the deployment, so how the flow happens. Okay, there are, we'll see for those documents what are the references and all. And the structure, if you see, it is very much similar to the other standard structures like 9001 and 27001, or in that case 14 and all. So high level structure is what we call it into, and you can easily integrate ISO 42001 in any of your available standards, or if your organization is already implementing something like for 9001 or 27001, it's very easy to integrate 42001 as part of the standard, or the integrated management system, what you can call it. Okay, now coming to the mapping part, how does the standard at a high level look at? So similar to other standards, the first four, like 4, 5, 6, and 7 are part of your planning, and the operation is part of your do, implement the AIMS. Check is all about maintaining, which is evaluation, internal audits, and all that. And the act, which is the improvements, continual improvements, NCs, analysis, uh, audit analysis, audit things and all. So this is the overall mapping. Any questions till now, team?
Yeah, good, Pranav. Good to go.
Yeah, thanks, Hari. So coming to the scope, right? What?
Question, Pranav. Sunil here.
Yes, Sunil.
So for example, if I have a existing quality management system and a security management system,
Yeah.
can I go and update my manual with this AI related clauses, or what's the advice? Or do we go and prepare a new separate manual with all the clauses of AI, because annexure A, annexure B, B, C need to be addressed?
Correct. So best way is to have a separate manual, Sunil. Quality separate, ISMS if you have separate, and similarly AIMS as a separate manual, that works.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So, sorry, you wanted to elaborate on it?
No, main thing is, say, for example, internal audits or your risk management and all gets covered. However, specific to 8 and all, definitely need AI related processes, procedures, and all that. So that's where I think it helps if you have a separate AIMS manual.
Okay. But I can club my audits, right?
Yes. Audits can be clubbed. But only thing is, see, if you are combining multiple audits and all, this might, you might have to put a lot of time into it. So what we did was, we tried to have it in scope kind of a thing. I mean, certain projects we focused only 42,001 for say one cycle. So that's how end-to-end audit was also done, including all clauses, sub-clauses, and the controls, all 38 controls. So
Agree. I think that's a practice we also do with respect to HIPAA in our organization, where we pick up projects which purely are on HIPAA healthcare domain. We only pick up those, and that becomes the scope for the project. Thank you. Thanks for answering.
yeah, thanks. Thank you. Yeah. So now scope, one question could be, okay, my organization, maybe we are not developing AI, or we are not, we are just consuming the LLMs, we are using chat GPTs and all, but can we go for it? Yeah, the answer is definitely yes. So if your company is using AI in terms of products and services, building product services, you are using AI for, say, for example, testing, right? You are using ChatGPT or Gemini for writing your test cases and all. Okay, whatever part it is. So we can definitely go for, you can go for 42,001. And regardless of the size, type, and nature of the work, domain, right? It can't be just IT. It can be manufacturing or any other such industries as well. The main roles here, we'll look into it in other sections as well, but the main key roles are AI providers, AI users, and AI producers and developers. So most of us might come in AI users. We are using AI. Some companies like startups and all, or big companies also getting into it, but yeah, they are developing their own agents, agentic AI and all that comes under AI producers and developers. AI providers is nothing but the Googles and ChatGPTs, OpenAI kind of a thing. So they are the providers of AI. So that's how the roles are defined. And 42001 gives us a proper provide guidance on one, establishing, implementing, maintaining. How do we continually improve AIMS? So similar to what other standards talk about. Right? So this is all the scope is. Some normative
But this is
references. Yeah.
ISO is an international, it's not an international standard, right? It's only Indian standards, right? Certification ISO,
No, no,
if I'm not
international.
wrong.
No, no,
Yeah,
international.
international.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's an international organization for standardization.
Thank you.
Yeah. So scope is one. Normative references. Okay. So one document or one standard which helps us a lot in 42001 is ISO 22989, which is IT, AI, and AI concepts and terminologies. So at a high level, what this standard talks about is different terms like agentic AI agents. What is the ML model, right? What is the structured data, unstructured data? So all those terms are provided in this standard one. It also talks about a lot of concepts like ML concepts and all, different risks, trustworthiness, transparency, and all that, right? Uh, and some terms like bias. Okay, if the model is getting biased towards something, maybe a geography or a gender and all. So how do we track that? One is explainability. Explainability is all about, say, for example, currently with agentic AI coming into picture, agents were just, uh, I would say, decisions, right? But agentic AI is more towards one is data processing, making decisions, and also taking actions. So that's where AI explainability comes into picture. So all these terms are clearly written in terms of the definitions and all in the standard. At a high level, it also provides a life cycle, what has to be followed, which starts with inception. There is no separate model as such, separate process or design process or say end-to-end process for agentic AI. Some things might come into picture, like for example, inception. Anyways, yeah, how do we start the agentic taking requirements and all that, right? Collecting requirements, or if you are developing your own agent, there is something called as ethics committee and all which come into picture. But how do you analyze? How do you take the decision on which agent to go with, right? What kind of agent do we develop with? That happens in inception. And then comes design and development, which is your again same architecture. Are we using vibe coding or are we going with a traditional coding? What kind of designs are we using? Verification and validation is all about testing, again reviews, testing and all. Deployment, operational and control, validation, reevaluation, and retirement. At some point you may feel the agent is not working or is not much effective currently, or there is some other new agent which we have developed already. So that's where you can also the retire those agents. So all that steps process is clearly given in the standard 22989. Anything else I wanted to cover here? Yeah, if it is a product, yes, which we are doing internally, we can follow this. Other than that, if we want to deploy some agents on the marketplace and all, then maybe additional one or two phases might come in, especially when it comes to putting your agent on a market, selling it to the public and all that. So that's where some other additional steps might come in. It also provides a functional overview, which includes the complete map of, again, where the model is coming from, where the data is coming from, what kind of guardrail should be put in, what kind of governance mechanism should be put in. All that is covered here. And different fields where we can AI. I have just listed two here. One is computer vision, natural language processing, and all that. And different applications where you can use AI. One is fraud detection, okay, automated vehicles. These are some of the applications what we have currently, but nevertheless, it's part of our daily life. So these are some of the references. Along with that, there is also a standard which is ISO 23894, which is for AI risk management. So you can either use, it is optional. You can use either 23894 ISO 31000 for your risk management framework. And you can also use NIST related AI risk management framework that also can add a lot of value in terms of risk. See, one major thing for 42001 is two main things. One is risk management, risk assessment, and impact assessment. So we'll look at those details, but that is the main thing. Whenever we want to start with an agent, we want to develop an agent. Risk management is one thing where we look at different features, what we want to plan in the agent one, and what different risks can come through. One related to transparency, privacy, accountability, different categories again. Right? So that is one. Impact assessment is all about what will be the impact of my agent on the public. One is individual, a group of individuals, or the society as a whole. So how does this system impact, the agent impact the public? So that has to be taken into consideration. That also comes under ethics committee and all that. They do an analysis of how will it will work. Say, for example, some agents should not be accessible by, say, 18-year-old or below that, below 18 years old. So how do we track that, and what kind of guardrail should be put in and all is covered there. So this is all about your references. Just give me a minute. So terms and definitions. This has usual definitions, including the audit, definition of audit, definition of the different standards, documented information, and all that. Common definitions, but some specific to AI and all. There is a definition called as AI system impact assessment. So as I told you, which has, if we have to do this impact assessment, where we have to understand what kind of impact will this agent have on individuals, group, society, and how to address those problems. Okay. So this is covered as part of terms and conditions. Now comes the context of the organization. This is again common across the different standards. We generally, what we do here is we list down what are the different teams involved, right? Needs and expectation. What are the different interested parties we have? We generally categorize it into 5 different things. Additional things can also come in, but generally providers. Say, for example, we are getting some cloud is one thing which we generally our usage and all goes up, right? So who's our cloud provider? One. If we are using any tools, the LLMs like chat GPTs and all, right? Chat GPT or Gemini, Claude is something which is definitely catching up soon, right? So those are our providers. Producers is internal again, like the developers, testers, what we have. Customers, partners, if we have any partners, especially marketing partnership teams with other tools and all are listed here. And also AI subjects. Subjects is, there is something called as data subject again, where if our agent is using any data from the users, right? So that those become AI subjects. So all those, at least to the minimum, these are listed. And we also find out what are needs and expectations of the interested party. Like, what do we expect? So customer definitely wants his agent to be delivered on time with whatever requirements they have suggested, one, right? And similarly, our employees might want a stable job with right salaries at right time. So all those relevant parties listed, and how do we address those issues or their concerns and all that. So that is generally we track here, and based on that we scope our AIMS, right? So external internal issues as well. Say, for example, suddenly if network goes down, right, what issue might come up? Or while using, suddenly if the LLM stops working, right, it gives some unwarranted data or outputs, right? What do we do in such case? So all that is also listed. What issues can come up and what actions can we take in that? So yeah, one document like any other standard is process interaction chart, right? So that is something which definitely is needed here. And how do the other departments interact? So when this audit happens, 42001, some of the groups which are definitely needed are, one, delivery is almost 60-70% is their work, right? And similarly, we also have IT team who they can talk about what services are we taking from different providers, one. How are we making sure that at the org level the data is getting not getting leaked, right? One example I could give you is say you are using some free version of ChatGPT, okay, and if there are no guardrails, if there are no DLPs implemented, people might start uploading their documents, organizational documents, and start asking questions, or maybe start analyzing, use it for some data analysis and all that. So that's where these ICT team is also involved. Like, how do they make sure that the data is not shared outside? Like, for example, in our case, whenever I want to upload something onto other than Copilot, I can't do anything, right? Copilot is an enterprise wide app what we have access to. So if I do something in ChatGPT, right, so it suddenly stops, the upload stops. So these all controls are taken by the ICT team, so they are also involved here. And yeah, I'm not sure if this is visible. Is it visible for you? Okay. So based on that, we plan our AIMS. So what is needs and expectation? What is our internal context? What is our external context? And how do we plan our scope accordingly? So this is all about planning our AIMS and context. Now going to the, any questions till now, team, till context?
Yeah, good to go, Pranav.
Okay.
Subjects.
Yeah.
You mentioned about AI subjects. So does that includes even the data subjects, right?
Yes, that's right. Data subjects. Yeah. And say, for example, I was just looking an example, and say Uber or someone has a agent, and it also keeps track of the driver details and all. So in that case, they become data subjects or other
Correct.
objects.
Yeah.
So 4 is done. So 5, leadership, right? So definitely without their support, it's very difficult to implement 42001. One, because I think right? Delivery might not accept it very easily. So why do I have to do a complete analysis of, say, maybe some 50, 60 points for an assessment, right? Before risk assessment or impact assessment. Why do I list my features and then keep doing things? So that's where leadership comes into picture. So if leaders put that message clearly, saying that this is something which can't be compromised, the guardrails can't be compromised, the governance can't be compromised at all, the audits have to happen, and any issues have to be dealt with immediately. So unless there is a focus from the senior management, this is difficult. So that's where the policy objectives and all come into picture. So they have to provide resources, in like anyways in any other standards or companies, right? They have to provide resources, and making sure that how do we integrate AIMS into business processes. See, they shouldn't see it as a overhead. So that's where we also try to, say, for example, risk assessment. Maybe today I am doing it using a Excel sheet, but tomorrow can I create an agent which can do a analysis of the code and give me some vulnerabilities out, right? So that's how maybe we can slowly move towards automation. But to start with, how do we integrate our AIMS into business processes and all? First document which definitely any company will need is a AI policy, okay, signed by the CEO or the CDO or any CXOs. So that is based on, again, I'm not sure if this is visible. Just give me a minute. Okay, this is just something which I've taken from the internet. So it gives us the statement, AI policy statement, whatever we have, and we'll make sure that we follow this guardrails, and this is our policy, and this is our ethical committee, without which our agents will not go into the market or into production. So maybe some policy related to that, and it might contain the definitions and what are the authorized use, right, of the AI. One, definitely if for example I'm using it for summarizing the meetings, internal reports and all that, that is a legitimate use, acceptable use. And if I'm using it for, like what happened with some company, right? I mean, they prepared a complete report, end-to-end report with chat GPT, and then they published it to the customer. So without human in the loop, right, HILT, what we call it as, without human in the loop, if I am directly putting something onto the production or directly sending into customer and all, that has to be controlled. Similarly, using some AI for replacing our judgment, right? So that's where all those legitimate, illegitimate, or acceptable and unacceptable uses are listed. And we also list down our principles here. So principles are needed, one definitely, and policy without principles is not complete. So some principles could be, I have listed it down, like for example, accountability is one principle. There are around 11 principles which are provided by the standard, which includes like accountability, transparency, AI expertise is one, environmental impact, right, privacy, safety is one principle. And whatever objectives we plan should be in line with those principles. uh, it doesn't mean that you have to cover all 11, or you can also add your own principles, that is also there, but to the minimum at least, whatever metrics you have, whatever metrics, like for example, I would say maintain 100% impact assessment for all of my agents, so that is my metric. Or ensure that 100% skill analysis is done for my team on AI. So these are some metrics. Just give me a minute, team. I think my voice is echoing. Okay. So yeah, so that's how we plan our principles, and we map our objectives. So this is all planned as part of our policy, and that's where the support is needed from the senior management. So they publish this, they make sure that this information is trickled down to the last mile, right? So that's where the help is needed. We do these uh, mailers, or keep sending about our objectives and all that, say at least once in a week, once in 2 weeks, we keep doing that. And roles and responsibilities, one is definitely roles and responsibilities. As a document, you need what all roles are listed, including your, say, CTO, CDO, CEO, and what are the roles and responsibilities when it comes to AI, to AI engineer, AI developer, or AI tester, right? So all those roles are listed. One is also, there is something called as AI ethics committee. The committee might have one, definitely someone from the senior management, CXOs, generally CDOs and all, chief delivery officers. Compliance head is needed here, right? So because all the guardrails and privacy and all that, right, information security, for that we need someone from IT team as well. So finance if need be, right? So that's where this ethics committee, the general work, like in CMMI, we have we used to have this organizational performance management, right? So we have that, and whatever ideas or what new innovations we want to bring in, so there is a committee which looks into it, does an analysis on financial or ethical or different parameters, and then they approve or reject the idea. So similarly, AI ethics committee is all about that. So they, whenever the plan for an agent is done, so before starting anything, so they take an approval from ethics committee. Once they say okay, then they start developing the agent and all that. The team starts working on it. So that's where the support from leadership is needed here in percolating the information of uh, AI. Yeah. Next, planning. Planning, mainly it is focused on, again, same risk management. So very similar to what we have in other standards, but more of AI risks, right? Like for example, toxic input, toxic output. Maybe the data or the agent, what we have done, is giving some irrelevant data or incorrect data, or data poisoning. What is the source of that data? This is where I think decision bias is also linked to that. If the data itself is poisoned, right? Like for example, an agent is more biased towards a certain gender, as I told you, right? Like for example, it happens in, say, if we are using any agent for recruitment, okay, so maybe based on its past data and all that, it starts rejecting a particular gender, or it starts rejecting a particular people from certain places and all that, right? So that's where data poisoning or decision bias comes into picture. So that's where I think we should get into identify what the data sources are. Okay, can we change that data? Can we do some change to that data and all that comes into risk management. uh, Risk treatment, as we see, one is definitely, this is again similar to what we have, probability into impact maybe. Okay, risk priority number we can come up with, and put our mitigation and contingency plans for these. And after our treatment, okay, be it acceptance or be it treating it through transferring it or mitigating it, what is the residue? So same concept is followed here as well. So in 42001, along with that risk assessment, we use a questionnaire generally, maybe some 30 to 40 questions. Like for example, any part of your agent, is there a possibility of data getting leaked, right? Or how sure you are on the quality of the data what has been used in this agent. So such kind of questions, wherever we say no, we make sure that there is a risk added to it. One good practice here in risk management is you can easily get a risk database, okay, from different companies. IBM, I think, has some risk database where all the any risk uh, with their mitigation and contingency are listed. So maybe you can use it as a starting point, and subsequently, whenever you feel there are new risks coming up, you can keep adding that as part of your repository. So that's how you can keep it alive and keep it current. So risk one point there. System impact assessment is all about what will be the impact of my agent onto the society. So that's where we also look at what will be the technical and societal context. Okay. And wherever possible, we have to make this available for our interested parties. Like, for example, our client asks us, okay, you're making this agent, what will be the impact of it, right? So we have to make sure that the impact assessment is available for the parties. Coming to AI objectives, AI objectives and planning to achieve them. One is AI objective, like we discussed in the previous branch. Something could be transparency is my objective, and skill is my objective. And what is the metric related to that is maybe 100% skill matrix, skill analysis, or say, for example, impact assessment. I'll make sure that 100% of my agents or agent go through impact assessment and risk assessment. So such kind of measurable objectives we need. And once in a while, like once in 3 months or 6 months, based on whatever duration you put in, you have to keep monitoring that. Like we do in CMMI, right? Level 5, we put in our business objectives, map it to our quality objectives, and then subsequently do the metrics and the next level of metrics, right? What we call it as different parameters and all that. So similarly, but it is not at a advanced level. Maybe we are tracking these metrics. We are making sure that we are taking some actions whenever there is a if the metric doesn't meet the goal, right? So that should be enough here. And once in a while, like 3 to 6 months, you can do that. Changes to AIMS is similar to what we have. Like how do we do planned interval releases of AI once in a month or once in a quarter? You want to release any new systems, new assets onto AIMS or make changes to the AIMS. Yeah, this is all about planning. Yeah, this is one key parameter again, support, right? Support, when it comes to resources, we generally look at human resources. When it comes to, we generally do human resources and all. But here, along with the human resources, what we do in competence awareness and all, we also have to have an inventory of all the engineering tools, the different hardware and computing tools, okay? AI system inventory, which is, say, for example, GPT-4 or Gemini 3.0. So all that becomes your AI system inventory. One, you have to list down all those inventories, including not only delivery, right? If, for example, if you see that marketing is using, say, Gemini 3.0 for their presentations and all, so you have to list it down as well at the org level. And what is the use of it? Okay. And there is something called as model cards for these, right? Different models, GPT, Llama, Gemini, and all. You will have model cards. Every such model gives a model card, which includes the legitimate, illegitimate, what are the risks involved in those models and all are listed. So somewhere that has to be linked to your risk management as well. Okay. So hardware and computing, for example. So I will list out Google Cloud Platform instance. Okay. What is my Azure? All that is listed and their characteristics. What are the different softwares I'm using? Okay. It could be something like maybe the Jira I'm using for project management. I'm using Jira, or I'm using ADO, Azure DevOps. So all that has to be listed. Complete list of assets are nothing but part of your inventories, resources. Uh, that is one. And competence, similar to other standards, again, skill matrix is one thing which is needed. Gap analysis, you keep doing this at least once in a quarter or once in 6 months. And based on that, like the current set of gaps in terms of any trainings and all, you plan it. So this is what continue. It's like a continual improvement. It keeps going on. And awareness is all about your what kind of trainings are you providing. One focus I could see in terms of auditors was they were more focused on AI related stuff. So if I show something on, say, for example, testing or some other training and all, how is it related to AI? Are we doing something in AI? So that was the focus all through. That will be the focus all through. And other than those awareness sessions and all, what we provide, how do we make sure that the things are communicated, right? We do some, say, for example, weekly posters on principles, on any new agents coming up, okay? Or we keep providing as part of our internal training, we keep providing at least once in a month training on AIMS. We keep sending quizzes, posters, and all that. So that's how we keep this communication going on, at least once in a week, once in a month. Yeah, documented information again is very similar, like what kind of different processes, procedures we have, and how are we making sure that we are updating those information as and when needed. So, and how are we controlling the records, right? How are we controlling the documented information? All comes into this 7, which is support. Yeah. Any questions, team?
Yeah. I have a generic question.
Yeah.
Maybe I can ask now, or we can.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So this is like, is it only at the company level, or we may have like multiple products, software products within the same company? We can take up for like ISO 42K we are using for developing this particular product, or even LOB line of business, right? Then we totally different line of business, again, like software vendor only, software product development. So one pillar may take it. So can they take it? It's
Yes.
not.
No, it can't be at the org level. You want to take one pillar? Definitely, yes, it is possible. Say, for example, your AI department wants to go with 42,001. Right? So you can do that.
Okay. And any of the big providers already are having these certifications, like say Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude?
I think OpenAI has.
Okay.
OpenAI has. And our services company are definitely into this currently. Like, for example, Infosys, be it Wipro and all that. Wipro, I'm not sure, but Infosys and all, they already have this.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Referring to the impact assessment, I think 6.1.4,
Yeah.
largely these Copilot or ChatGPT are all third-party tools when we are using them. Their models like Sonnet and all this, where most of the model internals are a black box for us.
Yeah.
How do we perform that impact assessment? Like we don't know, right? What's we don't know the model performance there.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So this is very good. I mean, question. One thing is, as I talked about model cards, right? So model cards might give some picture to us, like about the legitimate and illegitimate uses of that and all that. But getting into the technical stuff, yeah, that's a challenge again. So we can only see how my agent might behave, right? And may use these model cards for my impact assessment and risk assessment. But I can't give 100% guarantee that this is all covered up. That challenge is there, sir. Yes.
Okay. And at what stage, like in the planning, it's the impact assessment is there.
Yes.
Let us say I'm a product development company. At what stage we have to do this AA impact assessment? Is it from ideation or before I procure a tool like Copilot?
One is definitely before the tool itself. One, there is no standard timeline as such, sir. But generally, what happens in our case, for example, whenever we want to build a new agent, we already have acquired the Copilot or the relevant models, and I am building a new agent. So that's where I'll go for, before starting, I'll go for this impact assessment and the risk assessment.
Okay. Thank you.
Pranam, I have a question here. Deepak here.
Deepak.
So when we are let's say talk about Gemini or ChatGPT or Group, any of the AI tools. See, they have been already widely implemented in most of the organizations.
Correct.
For the last 2 years or 3 years, organizations have already started implementing them. So do we really need to do the impact assessment right from the scratch? Because they have been already been used by multiple organizations, and obviously they would have done the impact assessment.
Correct.
And more or less, if you see the way the organizations are adopting it, the common usage would be the same, right?
Yeah.
So do we really need to do it, or since they've already done, we know the kind of impact they're going to have on the organization and the data. Can we just proceed and then go ahead?
See, what will happen is, Deepak, one is definitely the requirements assessment, whether this model or this LLM, whatever, is will be able to satisfy my requirement, whatever agents I want to bring in. Like, for example, if you compare, first, generally what happens, what I've seen is, based on functionality, people generally try to decide, right? And depends, again, if you want to do an impact assessment of the model itself, LLM, or if it should be directly available, in the market. Based on that, as part of your decision making itself, you might do that. Okay.
Okay.
But yes, it's challenging. I mean, we may not be able to go assess the models itself, right?
We might not get 100% accurate results when we do the assessment, or we might not cover all the areas.
There is
Because
definitely
mm-hmm.
There is definitely this probability of error will always be there.
Right.
Like, for example, I'll tell you on yesterday's case only. Hari was asking me to send my profile, right? So I thought, okay, why not use just upload my photo and some description and give me the whatever chart or whatever it is, right? This thing. I tried it. In fact, it was totally changing my face. Okay, initially I couldn't find my photo, so I said I just took a pic and said make it a passport type with add coat and all that, right? Blazer. So it totally changed my face. So similarly, when I tried to use this, at the end of 1 hour, I literally had to take a PPT, put my image separately, have this description and all that. So, right, till we may not be able to 100% depend on these things. Our assessments and all keep happening. Assessments, impact assessments, risk. I think Prasanta has something. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Pranam.
Yep.
So, see, one question that is lingering in my mind, I don't have any idea on the standard ISO 42001, not at all. I read it for the first time.
Okay.
My question is really basic. Why do you see the need for the standard? How does it start? How did ISO come up the standard for this?
Yeah.
And how is it going to help the organizations or the project? You said it can be implemented only at a vertical level, correct?
Vertical or horizontal? No, vertical as well as. Yeah.
Can an individual project or something
nowadays?
Yes. Fair. I mean, ISO being a very standard organization, yes. makes sense.
But that point has put a thought into my mind, Prasansa. I'll get back on that analysis.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Param, if you're okay, just want to give my inputs to what Prasamsa asked and Shiva asked based on what we are doing currently. Right. So with respect to vertical, yeah, I work in an organization where we have split into different verticals. So one of the vertical is now specifically going for this 42,001 audit. This was something which even our auditor foresaw based on the project that we are doing with a couple of our clients. He suggested us in September last year, saying that it is good to have based on the scope of work that you are doing, and it can help you to get your business more. So yes, vertical within a bigger organization can go. Do we select only few projects of all the verticals which are being executed in that vertical? Yes, it can be done. We are currently identifying the projects and the teams which will undergo the audit. So it helps. I think this does help you in getting business and also winning the confidence of the customer. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sunil.
Thank you, Sunil.
Thanks, Sunil. Operation wise, yeah. So again, like we might have done our risk assessment and all during the planning stage. How are we making sure that that continues? So this is where I have just put in the questionnaire, right? So what is is there a is there a possibility that there is a privacy leakage here? Is there a possibility that there will be a data poisoning, right, or bias in output? So these questions will give us those pointers to add our risks, one. And as I told earlier, make sure that you keep updating your risk database based on whatever new risks come up. Yeah. So as part of our planning and control, we have to keep updating our system inventories. Okay, if there is a change in that, and we also keep our all the records and all, like including your, say, for example, starting with your requirements, user stories, or your design, architectural design diagrams and all that. So all those records and all are tracked as part of 8.1. So including your risk trackers and all we discussed. So impact, yeah. Just at a high level, how do we do a system impact assessment? We list down all the features, whatever our agent has, one, and we make sure that are there any impact. Like for example, I've given a simple example of a chatbot, right? What is the intended? We list down all intended and unintended use of a agent in every assessment. What we take, what we do. So one question could be chatbot, right? Remember the basic functionality of that could be answering your questions, okay, and collecting at least the basic information and providing support. And if there is a escalation, complex queries and all, escalate it to the next. What could be the unintended? Something like a legal or a medical device, okay, and making decisions in your place, right? Something like leaking your information and all. So these could be unintended. So we, for any agent which we do, we make sure that the features are listed, the impact is listed, what is the intended and unintended at high level is listed here. So this happens in your impact assessment. Performance evaluation is very similar again to our management reviews, internal audits. We focus, I think there was a question, right? Like, for example, is it better to combine the audit and all? We found it more effective if we focus specifically 42,001, for example, for a project. Right? And that's where we can go detailed into all these clauses, subclauses, the different controls and all that. And based on that, we change our AIMS, for example, if there is a gap or improvement in the project itself. So those audits help. And as part of our MRM also, the MRM and all, there is nothing to change as such. But again, same. Like, how are we making sure that the NC and corrective actions related to or audit results related to AI is presented there? Okay, if there is any change in needs and expectations, and how are we making sure that we are identifying continual improvement opportunities and all? So this is all very similar to other standards. Improvement, yeah, like I said, right, like impact assessment currently might be a manual process for me, and I want to automate it, put in some agent where I can just give access to the code, and it will find vulnerabilities within for security or any data breaches and all. So can such kind of actions, continual improvements in partnership with the delivery team, right? So those kind of improvements and all, we can plan as part of our improvements. Coming to the annexures, like there are 4 different annexures along with this, right? Annexure A, which has all the controls across 10 different domains. One is these are the domains: internal organization, resources of for AI system. That's where all the inventories and all come into picture. Impact assessment, data for AI systems, and all that. However, not all controls are mandatory. So if you want to select a few among them, you can do that. Something if you feel is not relevant to you, you can exclude that, but it has to be uh, approved by the sponsor or the senior management. That's where this talks about. Annexure B gives us a guidance. So each and every control here or the domain is clearly explained in Annexure B. How do we implement all those controls is clearly explained here. Annexure C is all about potential AI objectives, risk sources, and all. That gives a this all again helps you in risk management. Last is your how do we implement AIMS across different domains and all. It gives a picture on what different things and all. Basically, for us, one is the standard clauses, subclauses, and annexure A and B might help us are needed. These are again additional things what you can look for. Yeah, I think one last point. I think one common question could be what will be the timeline, right, of this for this audit if you want to start. If you want to start from scratch, I think 6 months should be good enough. If you don't have anything, if you're starting from scratch, you want to start a new, say, starting with your PAL, starting with your process policies and all that, 6 months should be good enough for completing this certification. If you already have certain certifications like 9001, 27001, almost there is a 40 to 50% overlap. Okay, so that's where you're. Sorry, Hari, I forgot to switch on my camera.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yep, you're not audible now.
Yeah, some.
Yeah, you can switch off. That's okay. No problem. I understand. Sometimes bandwidth could be a challenge. No problem.
Internet issue. Just give me Are you able to hear me, Hari, now?
Now, yes, we are able to hear you. Yeah.
Now, yeah. I think some to do with camera thing. Yeah.
Understood. No problem.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is all about it, team. So, yeah, well, I think I missed the last part. If you have already certified, say 9001 or 27001, maybe 40 to 50% things overlap. So the duration can get reduced 3 or 4 months. There are 2 stages here. One is stage 1 and stage 2 audit. Stage 1 is all about documentation. The auditor might come and document end-to-end review. It can also happen remotely. Second is the actual audit. Stage 2 is when they actually come do interviews with different teams, specifically delivery, ICT, marketing, sales, and all that. Yeah, this is how it happens. Any questions? Anything?
Yeah. Madam, you are saying interviews. So would it be like CMMI or would it be like an ISO audit where they come and look at the artifacts and then just talk to the respective teams?
Yeah, this is like ISO only, Deepak. Similar, normal 9001. Yeah.
Okay.
Interviews, reviews happen, document end-to-end reviews happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pranav,
Yeah, Rajshekar. Yeah.
yeah, in the operations, right, generally, particularly in the software industry,
Yeah.
from a development team context, in the fast moving development team context, somewhere in the standard it mentioned about human oversight. See, as an individual, right, suppose I generate a code, as an individual, I will review that code, like,
Yeah.
or even a text, not necessarily a code, any text, I may review on the outcome that I get. But what kind of human oversight? Any guidance or definition in the standard? What is human oversight?
No, I'm not very clear on this. Uh,
Because
hmm,
I think one of the control, this is sometime back when I was browsing through,
yeah.
one of the control mentioned about human oversight. Like that means in one of the discussion uh, I heard one
Yeah.
of the client, because today most of the organizations are or development teams are encouraged to use AI systems
Hmm,
for generating code and all that.
yeah.
They have put two more layers of reviews.
Huh, huh. Okay.
See, that means they don't just accept the code, because there is a possibility of, particularly the financial institutions, when they want to deploy some of the systems, they have put two more or three more layers of code reviews.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, is that the human oversight? Is
Correct.
somewhere in
Yes.
the
Yes, yes. Human oversight, or what we call it as human in the loop, for example.
correct? Yeah,
HITL. So very rightly said, Rashekar sir, because what is happening? See, any startup, right, especially AI and all, 60 to 70% people are freshers,
yeah.
uh,
Hmm,
right? Because again, say vibe coding. So they are using all these GPTs, Claude, and all that for generating the code, directly using it.
correct.
So that's where there is a challenge. So 100% it has to be reviewed. One. Second, are they using any one? What generally we do is we also ask along with code reviews by architect or a lead. Code quality tools is one thing. Code review is one thing. Like, are they using any code quality like Sonar Cube or static code analysis? What they do. That is one. Yes, human in the loop or human oversight. What you call it as, definitely yes.
Hmm.
Without that, yeah, it can't be put into production. So the B production, even UAT and all, I mean, even testing thing also will not start without that. So such controls definitely we need, sir. Standard will not openly talk about maybe at this level, but like we can change, we can add our own steps
And
using this.
organizations may be using multiple AI systems also, right? Like maybe two, more than one AI system.
Yeah,
So, do they have to do the system impact assessment at each AI system level?
yeah, yeah. Generally, that is what is the requirement. When I say AI system, maybe if say for example if you're talking about chat gpt or
Correct. Yeah.
right, uh, more than that, Rashekar, so what we are focused on is what agents we are developing, right? So whatever agents we have already taken that product, we have like for example we are already using the services from say chat gpt. So whatever agent I am developing, I may develop something which can scan the code and give me some risks. So before developing that, I'll do a risk assessment or impact assessment on my agent. So most of the times that is the case.
Okay. It can be homegrown models also.
Homegrown
Yeah.
agents maybe.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Pranav.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Pranam. It was a wonderful session, and it is the need of the industry today. Most of the RFPs already started, seeing that AI standard as a prerequisite when you are trying to, use any of one of the AI tools, either for development or, selling it as a product. So, thank you very much for sharing the knowledge and explaining the class-wise requirements at a high level. I understand within an hour it is very difficult for anyone to explain to the last mile details, but the kind of overview that you have navigated is really helpful for our forum to understand at least a basic understanding of what is the standard, how many clauses, what is the high level timelines in terms of readiness for the audit, and some of the policies, procedures that an organization has to implement if they are interested in implementing this particular standard. I think these details are very helpful on behalf of Hyderabad Spin Core Committee. So we wanted to sincerely appreciate your efforts in taking time and sharing your knowledge in today's session. And I have seen some of the requests from the audience is that the presentation can be shared with us, yes or no, is some questions, whether the recording, where I can access and all. Yeah, definitely we have recorded the session, and this recording will be made available in YouTube channel, Hyderabad Spin YouTube channel, so that if someone would like to recap any of the points, so probably you can go through and then make use of the recording to get the knowledge. I also see some questions like who is the consultants, where I can get and all. So probably you can reach the core committee. Hyderabad Spin is a non-profit organization. I have seen many people join from PMI. So we will just give the guidance in terms of whom do you contact. So we give some of the references so that you can go and then talk to them. You can do further discussions so that you will get at least a lead indicators that who are all those consultants who can help you out. But we don't have any vested interest to encourage any individuals. So that is just I wanted to make it clear. But
Sure.
thank you for all the participants for joining and making this session more interactive. Yeah, that's all.
Thanks, Hari. Thanks for
Thank
providing me the opportunity, and definitely very insightful questions. I'll get back on some of those questions definitely.
Yeah, I responded a couple of them one-on-one, Pranam. But still, if anybody has any questions, so you can directly message me on WhatsApp so that I'll get back to you at the earliest. Yeah. Thank you, team.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks, Hari.
Thank you all.
Thank you.